Hi everybody, I'm Tabitha and today we're talking statistics. I have a few things to talk about today, so I'm going to put helpful timestamps down in the description of this video in case you want to jump around a little. First, I'm going to talk about October's writing statistics. Then I will talk about October's reading statistics. Then, since we are getting closer to the end of 2019, I'm going to check in on my progress on my year-long writing and reading goals. Finally, I'm going to use all of this to make a decision about November goals and to-be-read lists for November. You should expect to see graphs and hear me talk lots about statistics. Feel free to comment with questions or anything specific that you were hoping to see that didn't show up in this video, and maybe I will include it in my November video. All right, let's get to it. So first, let's talk about October writing statistics. My writing goal for the month of October was to write 1,000 words per day. I typically write 5 days a week with 2 days off, so I sometimes will write more than 1,000 words on the days when I'm actually writing. I still attempt to hit a total of 7,000 words in a given week. In October, I hit the 1,000 word mark on 13 of the 31 days. Now, 13 of the 31 days may not seem like enough to make my goal. However, I did write over 31,000 words combined total on those 13 days. This means that my average per day for the month of October was 1,002 words per day, which is 2 words over what the goal was. That means I achieved the writing goal this month. Yay! It's worth mentioning here that I also met my editing goal and my blog post goal for this month. If you compare that to last month, September, then you'll see I'm already looking better than I was.
Speaking of last month, I'll make sure I link that video down in the description in case you're interested in hearing more about that dumpster fire of a September.
Let's talk about October reading statistics. My reading goal was to read 150 pages per day in the month of October. I also break down my anticipated TBR for the month. For October, I identified 1 arc that I had that was coming out in November, 2 review requests that I'd promised to post by the end of October, 1 that was on hold for me at the library, and 3 others that I was really excited to get to. I hit that 150 pages per day on 15 of the 31 days this month. Again, that may seem like it wasn't enough. But as you can see, I read all 7 of the books I wanted to read, plus 7 that were not planned. This means I read a grand total of 14 books, totaling 4,650 pages, which breaks down to exactly 150 pages per day on average. It's worth mentioning that 28% of what I read this month was also independently published, which is kind of a goal of mine on this channel, to read more books that are independently published. This means that I also made my reading goal in October. Yay! I do like to dig a little further into my reading statistics, so I'm going to get some graphs going here for you. Just remember that you can follow those helpful timestamps if you're interested in jumping to the next section, because graphs aren't really your thing. All right, this graph here shows you 71% of the books that I read this month were actually authored by females. That's the second month in a row where female-authored books have dominated the books that I've read in a month, so it'll be interesting to see how that affects it as 2019 comes to an end and I look at the year full of books that I read. As far as age categories go, I did read 1 middle grade book this month, 6 young adult, and 7 adult. So this continues that trend that I noticed and made note of last month in September, where it seems like as the age of the main character increases, I am more likely to read the book. My genres continue to be all over the board this month. However, 5 of the books I read this month in October were fantasy, meaning that fantasy is pulling ahead overall for 2019. Looking at release years of the books I read, nothing that I read this month was a 2020 release. That means I didn't have any arcs that were not for books coming out in 2019, and I didn't read anything published before the year 2000. I seem to have been reading a lot of books lately that were just less than 10 years old, so that trend kind of continued into October. All of that breaks down to star rating. A lot of books this month fell into the category, just average, acceptable, good books, but nothing that stood out as incredibly good or incredibly bad. However, I'm feeling good about this month because there were still 5 books this month that fell into the category of I loved this book. So that's pretty cool. Check out wrap-up videos for more on the specific books I read or which books those were, and I will post the links in the description for both of the wrap-up videos this month. If you absolutely love data analysis like this, there'll be a blog post coming today, and I will make sure I link it down in the comments, that gives you comparisons between September's statistics and October's statistics on a lot of these same graphs and trends. Let's check in on the progress of my year-long writing goals. If you watch the September goal video, then you'll already recognize these goals that are coming up first. They were completed before October even started, and I made no more progress towards getting the rest of the Fran book series completely finished. I did get book 3 back from the first beta. I made the editing and revision changes that were necessary, and it's now in the hands of the second beta. So we're getting somewhere, but nothing that looks any different on this progress graph. I also had a year-long writing goal to outline something that was not a Kingdom of Fran book. I mentioned in September that I had started that outline. In October, I completely finished it, and I've actually turned that book into my NaNoWriMo project, which you can follow on nanowrimo.org, where my username is tships. I'll be posting about this project all month long in my writing games on Twitter, and I might even occasionally be dropping videos on days other than Tuesdays that talk more about this project and or Nano in general. My fourth and final writing goal for the year was to post 24 short stories, scenes, or poems to the blog. As of the time of making this video, I've posted 21 of those. I have no idea what I'm going to do with these short stories or scenes once they're on the blog. It was just a goal to get them on there. I am playing around with the idea of an anthology. Drop me a comment if you have any ideas what I can do with these when I'm done. Let's check in on the progress of my year-long reading goal. My goal this year was to read 2 books per week, which totals 104 books. I reported in September that I'd actually already reached this goal, so at this point, it's just basically seeing how far I can go. This definitely marks the year that I've read more books in my life than any other single calendar year that I can remember, which is pretty cool. As of right now, I've currently finished 121 books. All right, so let's set my November goals and my November TBR looking forward. After meeting all my goals in October, I'm actually feeling pretty good about this. This feeling contributed to my decision to join the National Novel Writing Month and attempt to at least write 50,000 words on that young adult contemporary project that I mentioned outlining. So you will notice there is a change in my goals in November. Instead of a daily writing goal, I'm just making it my goal to hit that 50,000 word mark exclusively on the Nano project. I am still going to track other words written, including blog posts, and I'll report those out at the end of the month. But I will have to call the goal failed if the Nano project itself doesn't have 50,000 words. I'm going to keep my same 150-page reading goal for the month of November because, of course, I do bring you reviews right here on this channel, and I already have some that I've promised to review. I'm dropping my editing goal altogether in favor of allowing myself to focus on that big writing Nano goal. I am going to keep my posting to the blog and posting to the YouTube goals the exact same as they always are. So that means posting to the blog, hopefully at least 2 short scenes or poems during the month, and posting to this YouTube channel at least every Tuesday. As far as TBR goes for November, I had no carryover books from October, which is really cool. So my November TBR is 7 new books. 3 of these are review requests that I promised by the end of November. 1 of them is an advanced reader copy, and 1 is already on hold for me at the library. So wish me luck. All right, that's it for me and my talk about statistics from October. Thanks for watching. Remember to leave a comment so I know you're here. Hit subscribe so you know when I'm back. Keep plotting the path to your dreams, and I will see you next time.